100 people, one circle, and whoever stays inside the longest wins $500,000. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the anatomy of a viral endurance challenge. We're breaking down one of the most intense psychological experiments of our time, cleverly disguised as a high-stakes YouTube challenge. We are looking at an absolute masterclass in audience retention, suspense, and human endurance. It's fascinating, it's brutal, and it's engineered perfectly to keep you watching. The premise hits you right away. 100 people. That's our starting number. The creators literally rented out an entire stadium and packed 100 hopeful contestants into a single painted circle. The sheer scale of it is overwhelming. Just imagine the noise, the body heat, the intense claustrophobia of standing shoulder to shoulder with 99 strangers. And every single contestant standing there honestly believes they can outlast everyone else. And why are they putting themselves through this? For a staggering $500,000. Whoever stays inside that circle the longest takes home the whole shebang. Setting this massive, life-changing stake within the first 25 seconds is the ultimate hook. $500,000 is absolutely life-changing money, and establishing that figure immediately anchors you and perfectly validates the extreme lengths these people are about to go to. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how simple yet utterly brutal these restrictions are. No phones to distract you from the boredom. No beds to rest your aching body. Absolutely no leaving the circle. And the absolute most terrifying rule of all, the challenge gets harder every single hour. These aren't just rules, They are a recipe for maximum psychological pressure right from the jump. Section 1. The stadium setup and early chaos. So, as we established, everyone thinks they're going to win. But there's one massive problem. As the source material explicitly notes, most of them won't survive the first night. When you look at how this script is put together, you see how this bold, almost ominous statement is used to build instant suspense. It's basically telling the audience, hey, you might see 100 people right now, but a massive collapse is coming, and it's coming fast. So what actually causes people to break within the first 60 minutes? You'd think literally anyone could last an hour for $500,000, right? Well, within that first hour, the claustrophobia and reality set in, and people start panicking. We're talking sheer panic. One person accidentally takes a single step out of bounds. Just like that, boom, immediate elimination, accompanied by the screams of the remaining crowd. The very first domino falls almost instantly. And then, man, you have the reality of poor planning. The source material highlights this hilarious, unscripted moment where contestant number 42 brought 5 energy drinks into the circle. They chugged them all down to stay awake, only to immediately regret it. Why? Because you absolutely cannot leave the circle to use the restroom. It's a perfect, unforced human error that leads to a spectacularly fast elimination. Section 2. Escalating brutality. Once the early eliminations filter out the unprepared folks, the challenge completely shifts into a trial of active suffering. This brilliantly illustrates their escalation strategy. Every 2 hours, a new punishment is introduced. Think about it. First, they take away the ability to sit. Then, freezing ice rain starts pouring down from the ceiling. Next, blaring loud alarms go off to ruin any chance of sleeping while standing. They are actively depriving these contestants of basic comforts and turning the entire thing into a literal pressure cooker. But physical exhaustion isn't the only tool to use. The psychological warfare is just as intense. Let me ask you, would you take a guaranteed $10,000 in cash right now to just quit, walk away, and go sleep in a warm bed? The creators introduced these massive temptation offers, and unbelievably, multiple exhausted people actually took the 10 grand and walked away from the $500,000 grand prize. Let's move to and see how this builds over time. You can really see the sheer physical and mental toll here. At 0 hours, you have a packed house of 100 optimistic people. By 20 hours, a staggering 93 people have quit, leaving only 7. And by 30 hours of continuous standing, sleep deprivation, and punishment, just 3 people are left standing. The attrition rate is absolutely brutal. Section 3, the emotional pivot. Right around that 20-hour mark, the wacky, goofy vibe you saw at the start is completely gone. It pivots into a very heavy, grounded reality. The source material highlights a raw, unscripted moment where one of the final contestants reveals his motivation. He isn't there to buy a sports car. He wants the money to help his mom pay medical bills. At that exact moment, this stopped feeling like just a game. It fundamentally changes the stakes for the remaining 7, turning it into a desperate fight for survival. Section 4. The breaking point 30 hours in. This brings us right to the cinematic climax of the whole experiment. After nearly 30 hours, only 3 people remained. They've survived the ice, the alarms, the bribes, and their own breaking bodies. Everyone was utterly exhausted. At this point, nobody could even feel their legs anymore. Their bodies are completely shutting down, running purely on adrenaline and the desperate, desperate hope of life-changing wealth. And then, just when they are at their absolute most vulnerable, physically and mentally, the creators deploy a masterful, shocking final twist. Right at the finish line, they change the rules of the game. The screen flashes double or nothing. So, the crucial point is this agonizing dilemma right here. The ultimate winner could either take the $500,000 immediately and the suffering and walk away rich, or risk absolutely everything they just fought for a chance at $1 million. And what happened next shocked everyone. The source notes that what followed this ultimatum was pure silence. The audience and the contestants were left completely stunned by the sheer weight of this choice.
Section 5. The Cliffhanger Conclusion.
Now, here is where the structure of this viral challenge shows its true genius. They purposefully leave the outcome a mystery. Instead of resolving it immediately, the creators make a massive call to action. They promise that if the video hits 500,000 likes, they will do an even crazier challenge next month. They literally leverage the unbearable suspense of the cliffhanger to urge viewers to subscribe before YouTube hides the outcome or the next video from them. It is a calculated, flawless retention strategy. Which leaves us to ponder the reality of what we just analyzed. We've seen everyday people pushed completely past the brink of collapse, abandoning all comfort and sanity for a chance at a massive prize. So is $1 million actually worth the ultimate psychological toll this takes on a person? It forces us to really reflect on human endurance, the overwhelming power of greed, and the true hidden cost behind our favorite internet entertainment. See you next time.